Okay, so create three different functions that would move the graph to the left. Okay, so if it's moving to the left, that means it's horizontal. That means it's with the x. And that means left really means right, so I have to think of a plus. So f of x plus 3 is 1. F of x plus 5 minus 1 is another one. 6 f of x plus 11 minus 12 is another one. What I need you to get is that there's probably going to be multiple choice, and you're going to have to find the ones that represent to the left. They could have other transformations, but it cannot be this, like that. It can't be that. It also can't be, because there is no horizontal transformation happening, so it can't be that one either. All right, so let's see, they want you to describe the transformation. So the parent function is here, so it looks like they went left 2 and up 1. Left 2, up 1, but of course you would write horizontal. Do not write like that. You have to write it in words. Horizontal translation 2 units left. Vertical translation 1 unit up. Okay? If you don't write it out like this, you will get it marked wrong. Okay, let's see. So this means reflecting over the x. They all say reflecting over the x. This means vertical stretch by a factor of 3. There's not even a 3. This means horizontal translation. I'm going to write it down because it's easier for me, since horizontal translation 2 units right. That says vertical, horizontal, vertical. Horizontal left, oops, right. This one says left, that one's right. So be careful, it's easy to mix up those words. All right, describe the transformation. So the first transformation, you're going to write it out like this, horizontal. Horizontal translation 7 units left. This is a vertical translation 2 units. Okay. More describing transformations. This negative, it's with the y, which really means it's with the x, reflection over the x-axis. Do not write it like that. You're going to write out reflection over the x-axis. This means a horizontal translation 4 units right. This isn't with the x. That means it's with the y. Vertical translation 5 units down. Even though it's next to the x, it's not with the x, which means it's with the y, but it's a reflection, so it's the reflection over the x-axis. If it said this, that is with the x, that would be a reflection over the y-axis. Okay, so that's different. Keep that in mind. All right, it looks like what they want us to do is take the x, so go along the x-axis to -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and all except 0, all except 1, whatever. It looks like negative, so I'd accept 0, I'd accept 1, I'd accept 0.5, I'd accept 1/2. Okay? -9, 6, 7, 8, 9. There isn't anything there. So if there isn't anything there, you can't find the answer. It's no solution. Let me say it again. There is nothing over here, so you can't find it, no solution. This time I'm going along the y to -3. 1, 2, 3. So I look, there's a spot there, and I look, there's a spot there. X equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. X equals 7. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I might be making this, I might be off. And x equals -7. Okay, show your work. This time they want it for 5. We'll go along the y-axis 5. There's nothing there. That would also be no solution. Okay. All right. They want you to say it in a sentence, but you're really just saying what you said before. It's with the y, which really means it's with the x. Reflection over the x-axis, write it out. It's not with the x, so it means it's with the y. Vertical stretch by a factor of 7. All right. It's transformations. I mean, we spent a whole week on transformations. It's going to be really put on there a lot. We went up, worked over this. Domain is all the x's, -4, 7. Don't put the -4 twice, and 2. -4, 7, 2. I don't care if you put it in descending order. Range is the y, 2, 0, 3, 1. Oh, I don't need to do that because it's right there. And then, sorry, 2, 0, 3, 1. Oh, it says do it in interval notation, so I better make sure I want. So it looks like what they want here is set notation. -4, 2, 7, 0, -4, 3, 2, 1, set notation. And in interval notation, you can't do it in interval notation because they're points. Okay, you can't do it in interval notation. So you know what? It's fine. Is it a function? The answer is no, it is not a function because you have the same x's. You've got to show that work. Okay, make a table, horizontal or vertical, whatever. -4, 2, 7, 0, -4, 3, 2, 1, mapping diagram, circle, rectangle, whatever, -4, 7, 2, 2, 0, 3, 1. So the -4 goes with the 2, and it also goes with the 3. The 7 goes with the 0, and the 2 goes with the 1. All right, graph it. There'll be a graph on there, okay? So -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 7, 0, 1, 2. Okay, -4, 3, and 2, 1. Okay, don't connect them. So I think what I'm going to do is change this. I want you to write it as a set of points. And then I do, for domain and range, I want you to just separate them. So this is what I do want. It would be a solution. So I want you to show me as a set of points, and I'll make sure if it's wrong on the quiz that we change it. And then domain, just give me the x. Range, just give me the y. You can't do it in interval notation. All right. This is the one that was confusing for people. So this 2 is with the y, which means what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that x, plug it in. I get 1. Now from that 1, I'm going to add 2. That's my 3. So I'm doing it from there. Plug in 1. So the one that's a 1, oh, that's -1, is -1. Now I add 2, and that's 1. So then I take the 0. It's 2 plus 2 is 4. So really what I'm doing is to all of these, I'm adding 2. So I'm going to take this, add 2. Take this, add 2. Take this, add 2. Okay. This time, I'm not dealing with the y, I'm dealing with the x. So I'm going to find the 0, and I'm going to plug it in here. So 0 minus 2 is -2. So now I'm looking for f of -2, which is 1. And I'm going to take the 1, plug it in. 1 minus 2 is -1, -1. Take the 0. 0 minus 2 is -2. Wait, sorry. 2 minus 2 is 0. F of 0 is 2. And now I notice a pattern. 1, 3, 0. This one, what they want to do is they want us to multiply by 2 because it's the x. So I'm going to take the -1 and I'm going to plug it in. 2 times -1 is -2. So it's really f of -2 is 1. Half of 2 is 1, but there's one negative. F of -1 is -1. And then we know the pattern 2, 1, 3, 0. Okay. All right, it looks like they want the vertex and they want you to describe the transformation. So reflection over the y-axis and vertical translation 3 units down. Okay. So some of you have to draw it, and if you need to draw it, you can. You would go down 3. But some of us go, hey, if there's nothing in the x that's being added, that's a 0. And then the afterwards, it would be a y. So let me give you a couple examples. Well, you'll figure it out. Okay, let's look at this one. This one is a horizontal translation. 2 units left. This is a vertical translation, 10 units down. Okay? The vertex is -2, -10. Okay? The opposite, because you're going to the left 2 and down 10. If you have to, you look left 2, down 2. -2, 10, -10. Okay? Music, vertical stretch by a factor 6. And this would be not a straight shooter. Okay. If you have to, you would go, hey, I go 8 right, and then you know it's 8-0. Or I take the opposite of what's in here, and there's nothing on the outside. So let me kind of show you a pattern, okay? So if you look, there's nothing in here, 0. There's a positive 2, negative 2. There's a negative 8, positive 8. I don't know if you're noticing that. And then on the outside, negative 3, straight shooter, negative 3. Negative 10, negative 10. Nothing on the outside, 0. Okay. All right, this time you want to create the function. So if that's f of x, I just can't use f of x. It's a squared. So if I'm going to the right, it really means left. So I put that there. Reflection over the x means it's going to be with the y.
Good morning, ECB. Please stand.
Okay, let me
for the
pause for the Pledge
Pledge
of Allegiance. So if you look, x really means it's with the y, and right really means left. And since this thing was squared, I've got to keep it that way. That way I know it's from that parent. Okay, I'll do h of x this time just to keep it interesting. Looks like there's an extra parentheses in there. So I'm telling you the vertex is 3, negative 1. Well, look at what we did here. If this was negative 2, that was positive 2, do the opposite. And this was a straight shooter. So the x is not what they mean, but the y is a straight shooter. So do the opposite. See the relationship between this one and letter B. And then your y is a straight shooter. Okay. I'm going to make this a 12. And the whole thing isn't going to be bonus. There's just going to be part of it that's going to be bonus, and let me explain. So this part will not be bonus. Vertical translation, 3 units down. This negative will not be bonus. That's a reflection over the y-axis. The 6 will not be bonus. Horizontal compression by a factor, of 6. But here's the part that's going to be bonus. If you remember what I said when we first learned about transformations, if you just have this, then it's a horizontal translation, 12 units left. Because if I set it equal to 0, that would be x equals negative 12. But if I had, let me move this here, negative 6x plus 12 equals 0. And I ask you to solve that, it would be minus 12, negative 6x equals negative 12, divide by negative 6, divide by negative 6, x equals 2. So the translation isn't the 12, it's the 2. So it would be a horizontal translation, 2 units. Left. Okay, so this is what's going to give you the bonus. What I'm going to need from you to get complete bonus, if you give me this horizontal translation, 2 units left, you get 1 point bonus. If you show me that you're actually factoring out the negative 6, so this part, this negative 6x plus 12, is equal to the negative 6x minus 2, that'll give you an additional point of bonus. You can solve it because I think your brain works better that way, but after I teach you factoring, you should be able to factor it. Okay, so that's your quiz.